Hi, today is October 5th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1544 for the year, Auckland. The city of Auckland, as well as the greater Auckland Region, are named after George Eden, the Right and Honorable first Earl of Auckland. I guess they only name cities after right and honorable people. I've never heard of a city named after the wrong and dishonorable Earl of anything. If ever there was such a city, I would be strongly inclined to visit. As happy as I am in this moment here in Auckland, my imagination has been captured, and I seem to be drifting elsewhere. Poem number 1545, Anything. The city of Anything, as well as the greater Anything region, are named after James Fartsy Fitzwilliams, the wrong and dishonorable first Earl of Anything. Fartsy was perhaps best known for his flatulence and expelled gas throughout the British Empire over several decades, a couple of centuries ago. There are a number of regions where Fitzwilliams lived for a few years that are still unfarmable, where even wild grasses won't grow, due to Fartsy's noxiousness, which was exceeded only by his obnoxiousness. Whereas most people politely excuse themselves before passing gas, James Fitzwilliams would announce the coming of his farts in any public place in which he happened to be. How he came to be the first Earl of anything, let alone anything, I cannot fathom. But it's a lovely place to visit if you can get used to the smell. Poem number 1546, Pisses in Perth. I well remember my first piss in Perth. It was last Sunday, and I had just gotten off the plane from Adelaide, and I had my first piss in Perth, right there at the airport. I also well remember my last piss in Perth. It was at the very same airport the following day, before getting on the connecting flight to Melbourne on the way to Wellington. There were several Perth pisses over the course of the day and a half I spent there, but while I well remember my first piss in Perth and my last piss in Perth, I remember very few of the pisses I had between my first and last pisses in Perth. Poem number 1547, a poet after all. We climbed over boulders and rocks and made our way to the sand and walked to the water. In other words, we went to the beach. I could have just said that, I suppose, but I wanted to evoke the sensation of going to the beach without just coming out and saying that's what we did. This doesn't make me a poet. I think it makes me kind of annoying. Then again, a lot of poets are annoying, so maybe I am a poet after all. Poem number 1548, Stupid Wolves. The stupid wolves were howling at the sun. Either they were too stupid to realize that the sun was not the moon, or they were too stupid to realize that wolves howl at the moon and not the sun. Either way, no matter how you slice it, damned if you do, and give me $1, and how's your father, and Bob's your uncle, and damned if you don't, those wolves were stupid. They were really fucking stupid. Poem number 1549, The Secret of Lost Fish. Nobody was prepared to reveal the secret of the lost fish. Some people had far too much to lose if the story of the disappearance of the fish were to become general knowledge. Others believed that the fish were a hoax. Others believed the fish were real, but that they were not lost. But no matter how you fry it, or juggle it, or fish it, or turn it into something that it isn't, come hell or high water, the fish were lost, and the secret of the lost fish would not remain a secret indefinitely. And last poem of the day, poem number 1550, French Fry Fortunes. While I was waiting for the French fries, they played I Want to Dance with Somebody, and I couldn't believe my misfortune. I like and admire Whitney Houston, but I've always thought that song was weak. And as I sat waiting for the French fries, I yearned for something, anything, that would get the song out of my head. Then, like a miracle, like manna from heaven, like a night in a forest, like a storm in a desert, like a storm in the desert, the next song came on, and it was Ballroom Blitz by The Sweet, and I couldn't believe my good fortune. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.